The fog rolls in fast. 1 minute, the horizon is clear. The next, a Viking sailor can't see the sun, the coastline, or a single star. No compass exists yet. Won't for another 200 years. And yet this ship keeps moving in a straight line, day after day, across open ocean, toward land that's still thousands of miles away. Norse sagas keep mentioning a strange object called a sunstone. For centuries, historians treated it as folklore, a magic rock in an old story, nothing more. Then scientists actually got their hands on the right kind of crystal and tested it.
Iceland spa.
A clear form of calcite. Hold it up to an overcast sky, even a sky where the sun is completely hidden behind thick cloud, and the crystal splits incoming light in a way that reveals exactly where the sun is sitting behind that cloud cover. Rotate it, watch how the light shifts, and suddenly a sailor with zero visible sun has a working compass built out of a rock. Think about what that actually solves. Fog doesn't just block your view. It erases your sense of direction completely. Modern people, dropped in featureless fog with no phone, get disoriented within minutes and start walking in circles without realizing it. Vikings crossing the open North Atlantic dealt with exactly that fog, regularly, for weeks at a time. And they had an answer for it sitting in a leather pouch. But the sunstone wasn't the whole system. It was one piece. On a clear day, sailors used something closer to a sundial built for a ship, a simple wooden board with a notched edge, sometimes called a sun compass. Set it up, track the shadow it casts as the sun moves, and you can hold a steady heading even without any modern instrument at all. Archaeologists actually pulled a fragment of one out of the ground in Greenland, a small disc with faint notches cut into its edge, sitting quietly in the dirt for centuries until someone realized exactly what it was built to do. Simple, nearly free to build, devastatingly effective if you actually understand how the sun's path shifts through the day and across the seasons, which Norse sailors clearly did. At night, when the sky cleared, they had one more anchor. The North Star barely moves, no matter what time it is or what season you're in. Every other star wheels slowly across the sky through the night. That one stays almost fixed. Find it once, and you've got a heading that holds until morning, no instrument required, just a memorized pattern of stars and the patience to look up. Then there's the part that has nothing to do with instruments at all. Vikings watched birds, specifically certain birds that only live near land. Sagas describe sailors deliberately carrying ravens onto ships specifically to release them mid-voyage. Picture that moment. A ship surrounded by nothing but gray water in every direction. A sailor lifting a cage, and an entire crew watching one bird's flight path like it's the only readable instrument left on Earth. If the bird circled back to the ship, that meant no land was near enough to bother landing on. If it flew off in a direction and didn't return, the sailors adjusted course and followed it, because that bird just told them exactly where solid ground was. That's not superstition. That's a working GPS system built out of a living animal doing something it would do anyway. Whales gave away information too in a quieter way. Certain species stay close to specific feeding grounds near coastlines, and sailors who spent enough seasons on the water learned to recognize which whale behavior meant land was near versus which meant you were still deep in open ocean. It wasn't written down anywhere official. It was the kind of knowledge that only exists inside a person who has spent years actually paying attention. Waves told another story entirely. Long, consistent ocean swells move in predictable patterns shaped by distant wind systems and, more importantly, by the presence of land far beyond the horizon. Islands and coastlines bend and reflect those swells in specific, learnable ways. Experienced sailors could apparently feel the difference between open ocean swell and swell that had bounced off land somewhere they couldn't yet see, sometimes through the hull of the ship itself, through the soles of their feet. Polynesian wayfinders independently developed an almost identical skill on the opposite side of the planet, which tells you this isn't some one-off trick. It's what happens when a culture spends generations depending on the ocean for survival. Even the color of the sea carried a message. Shallower water near coastlines tends to shift subtly in color compared to the deep, uniform blue of open ocean, and a sailor trained to notice that shift could sense approaching land before it was ever visible on the horizon. Clouds mattered too. A very specific kind of cloud, one that sits low and slightly greenish over open water, tends to form differently above land, especially above ice fields. Sailors learn to read a strange tint or shape in a distant cloud bank as a sign that land, or ice, sat underneath it, sometimes from 100 miles out, long before anything else was visible. Stack all of that together and you don't get a lucky guess. You get a genuinely sophisticated navigation system, just built entirely without metal, glass, or electricity. A crystal that reveals hidden sunlight, a shadow board that tracks time and direction, a fixed star overhead, birds trained to reveal the nearest coastline, whale behavior read like a weather report, wave patterns felt through the hull, the color of water itself, cloud shape used as a distant, silent signpost. Here's the part that should reframe how you think about all of this. It's easy to look at people without modern tools and assume they were guessing, working with less information than we have now. The opposite is closer to true. Norse sailors weren't operating with less information. They were forced to notice a completely different set of information because they had no other option, and they got frighteningly good at reading it. You, right now, carry a device in your pocket that can pinpoint your location to within a few meters, anywhere on the planet, instantly. And it's entirely possible you couldn't find true north using nothing but a rock, a shadow, and the tint of a distant cloud, even if your life depended on it. That's not a failure on your part. It's just a different set of senses, trained for a different world. Modern navigation didn't make humans smarter. It just moved the intelligence out of the body and into the device. The knowledge that used to live in a sailor's hands, eyes, and feet now lives in a satellite orbiting far overhead, invisible to everyone standing on the deck below it. The fog still rolls in the same way it always has. It's just that almost nobody left still knows how to read what's hiding inside it.